Hi, my name is Rafael Cruz and I am the host of Miami Strength Club podcast, the Bar App Show. We take the mystery out of strength training and we train with you every day. Today we have Johnny Garrido and we're going to dive in depth into his strength journey and to his experience here at Miami Strength Club.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Welcome, Johnny. It's a great thing. It's the first episode of the podcast. Thank you for honoring with your presence here and sharing your story and our journey together as far as taking it from the strength aspect. Johnny, what brought you here?
I moved to North Miami from Pembroke Pines, and I had a gym there. It was HIIT intensive and boxing, kickboxing, that sort of thing. And I needed a new place to work out. And I stumbled upon this because I live actually down the block, and I like the idea of doing something that was less intensive on the cardio, and more focused on just lifting weights, lifting barbells. So I decided to stick with this, and it's been a pretty good experience so far in the past few months. I started in, I believe, February. And then we had the pandemic kick in March. We closed for a little bit, and then I came back full strength in the summer, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So, but some background on me as a athletic person, or to describe my exercise. I've always been into longboarding, skating, biking. So I guess I'm a distance athlete when it comes to running and biking, and that's what I love. But I felt like I needed to slow it down a bit. So far, lifting and strength training has been a pretty good fit for where I'm at right now. I'm not sure if you were aware of this, but due to skating so much, I got an injury on my foot. So the doctor was kind of just like, you have to slow it down.
You didn't tell me this at the beginning, man.
No, I didn't think it was relevant. I'm not sure why, but he basically told me stay off the longboard.
Yeah.
Maybe get on a bike, and then I tried that. It was pretty good. It was enjoyable. I did the the whole stationary bike movement, and it kicked my ass.
Yeah.
So that helped. That helped a little bit. The tendinitis, it kind of comes and goes when it wants.
So that's kind of like a tendinitis, which is essentially a pattern of inflammation on
right.
Near the joint, tissues and whatnot.
Correct. Overuse of that right foot.
Okay.
So
yeah, just I wanted to put that out.
Right. So in New York City, which I lived in New York from 2010 to 2015, I pretty much used my longboard to commute from Chelsea to Inwood.
How long? How many miles is that? Like
10 miles.
Wow,
10 miles
on a longboard.
On a longboard, just one way. I started early morning in the studio, 5-6 a.m. I'd take a cab down there.
I gotcha. If I may pause you there for a quick bit, just anybody listening to this, they might not know what a longboard is, and I know you know for sure. What is a longboard?
So you know what a skateboard is, right?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so a skateboard is for you to do ollies, kick flips, whatever you want to do on it. A longboard is more like a cruising board,
Okay.
Longer than your average skateboard. It gives you a little bit more speed. You can go longer distances on it. Less focused on the kick flips and tricks.
Okay.
More for just cruising,
Good. So how did you get into such much cruising? Probably you were doing so much cruising.
Right. So just being from California,
Okay.
It's kind of a rite of passage living in San Diego for any kid to get on a skateboard. I mean, that's pretty much where skateboarding was born.
Okay.
Southern California. So where I'm from, it's kind of just like in high school, I guess it's your method of transportation.
Yeah.
For
Nice.
me, it's just like breathing, you know?
Gotcha.
Being on a skateboard is just, you know, an everyday thing. So, I guess, you know, I took that with me wherever I went. For me, after work, it was kind of my zen. It was kind of like my meditation, you know, just getting on the West Side Highway and going all the way up, getting all the way home on a board.
Sweet.
You know?
Sweet. Well, you might have get home relaxed.
Definitely.
You know, let's take a look a little bit. Let me talk a little bit about Miami Strength Club and this podcast real quick. You know, for the audience, you know this, but for the audience, this is our first episode of the podcast. It's been a long dream and pleasure to have been practicing as I have for the last year to do a podcast. Johnny has actually helped me as I want Johnny probably to talk a little bit more about himself and the things that he does. Johnny is a sound expert, you know, from the science to the engineering and you know, utilizing all of this. So Johnny's helping me a lot with doing the podcast, as has many other individuals here in the gym. We are a small studio dedicated to making people stronger working with barbells. I am the head coach and founder of Miami Strength Club. My name is Rafael Cruz, and I've enjoyed doing this for the longest part of 2 decades. It's been quite a journey, worked with amazing people, learned from amazing coaches and athletes, and it's been exhilarating and humbling to you know, learn so much and experience so much. And the purpose of this podcast is to share these experiences with you. You know, our views, our opinions, things that are interesting to us, things that are relevant specifically for strength training, for the lifestyle of getting stronger, of playing sports, of being an athlete. And that is the main purpose of this, you know, to get you moving, to get you stronger using barbells, and take all the mystery out of that. There's a lot of science, there's a lot of pseudoscience, there's a lot of information, good coaching, and a lot of also misinformation, so things that can be misconstrued. We're going to be taking a look and a closer look at those things in future episodes. Some things are going to be quite on the technical side. Some things are going to be more anecdotal and, you know, superficial and good nature and whatnot. And we're going to allow conversations to just take shape. And, you know, with that said, thank you for listening. And let's take it a little bit further out, Johnny, with you know, with our conversation. So you're a long distance athlete, you know, you do this whole amazing, you know, before and after work, you know, commutes on your bike, the longboard and whatnot. I can only imagine it's exhilarating. The one thing I want to say that is, you mentioned earlier that strength training has helped you. And it was a good fit into where you are at now, you know, with the history that you have. I want to say that one of the reasons that I started doing strength training is specifically because of that. You know, people sharing experiences and stories like yours, both from the lifestyle and both from the training side, you know, approach me and say, hey, I'm going through these, or here's what I want to do, or I'm a little bit bored with where I am. I feel like I need a change, revamp stuff. That's essentially how I started training from the very beginning.
Okay.
Training myself and also coaching. You know, as a coach, I started in the late 1998, 99 or something like that.
Okay.
Doing lifeguarding and also swimming instructor. And I actually was called on to be the lifeguard and assistant coach to a swimming team.
Wow.
For the YMCA, they had it was something called Proyecto Access. It was kind of like a I think in any case, I was in there, and then the kids, there were some really great swimmers in there, going to the state competitions and also the national competitions. Some of the kids knew that they wanted to get a little bit stronger, and I was already doing my own training at the gym, and they saw that, and I had some kind of a shape and blah blah blah, teenager anyways.
Right.
And some of the kids like, hey, what should I do? What should I do? And that's essentially how it all began. Just pumping.
Right.
Pumping. That's really it. That's what most of us did anyways back in the day. We're talking about before the year 2000. The main thing out there, it was what? Bodybuilding.
And where are we talking about location wise?
Oh, so I was in New York.
Okay.
I was in New York. A little bit of, essentially my geographical background. I'm from the Dominican Republic. Spent some time here and there, and I landed up in New York in between the year 1995 and the year 1997.
Wow.
I'm leaving that vague on purpose.
It seems like we both kind of had the same trajectory. Like we left home, moved to New York, and came to Miami. Right?
We love Miami. I love Miami, man.
I do love Miami. It's grown on me. I didn't always love it at first.
No?
But it has grown on me. So, I mean, it's been 5 years. So
Sweet. So in any case, let me double back into, that's how I started, coaching. And I've made so many mistakes on myself and with so many different clients in the past. I recognize that I've had a journey. I've had my ups and downs. I have my times when I really was exciting to coach. Sometimes I was not exciting to coach, and that actually reflects in my career. And I started specializing in barbells after working for a few years in commercial fitness clubs. And it was quite interesting because I really wanted to help my clients, and doing a lot of basic fundamental movements like squats, deadlifts and stuff like that. And of course, with the progression of the nature of those movements is that they're very progressive, and you can actually increase the weights for long periods of time. But that was not the popular thing in the fitness industry at that time.
I see.
The whole thing was roll on the floor, get so much warm-ups, get into functional this, get into something specific. So if you're an athlete and you play tennis, for example, so you're supposed to train in a way that is similar to the way you play tennis. So if you swing a racket, now you take a 5-pound dumbbell and you swing it like if it was a racket. And I'm thinking, I don't know about that. That's really like, I didn't know why. But it was a fundamental question that I had, whether I should be putting my clients through some things that I had, fundamental questions about whether it was really good or not. And then I started doing research for years, and I found out that barbell training is what makes the most impact, especially when they've never done it before. And that's how I specialized into barbell training, and it's been a trip.
Wow.
It's been a trip.
It's been a minute.
Right. It's been a minute. I know I'm always asking you to squat lower.
Right.
Squat lower.
Right.
You've had some challenges at the beginning with the range of motion.
Right.
What are the things that I always say, if you recall? I mean, I'm not talking about cues, but as far as like the importance of exercising inside a range of motion, exercising with a proper setup with the equipment, something that is repeatable, essentially a model.
Right.
What I teach people is to exercise with a model of things, a model of setup, a model of movement, A model of movement includes where you place equipment on your body, how you hold it, how you stance, how you stand when you're moving, how you lift it, how you set it back down, what to do in between reps, what not to do in between reps. All of these things are very detailed set of instructions. So these ways of moving and practicing the exercises are the model of movement, and that's what I've taught you. That's what when you come in. We have our coaching sessions. You do the lifting, and tell us. I want the audience to kind of hear about your experience. How has it, what has it been for you learning barbell movements in depth? Has it been difficult? Has it been easier than you thought? What is it about?
Well, I think there's been some challenges, and there's been some, really good breakthroughs as well. For me, I was just used to such a fast-paced movement, a fast-paced exercise. With interval training, you're going from, bringing your heart rate up really high to doing a couple sets of lifting barbells, and then back to maybe a punching bag, and then you're hopping on a bike, and then you're doing push-ups and burpees. So when I came here, I was just so I guess in a way relieved that I could slow things down, turn things down a notch, and really just focus on my movement with the weight. And that allowed me to really progress. I started, obviously how you start most people here with just the bar, until I got the movement down, and then slowly but surely progressed with a certain amount of weight. And that has helped tremendously, because I didn't have that training before. Like I said, I was doing HIIT, and the focus was just on getting as many stations done as possible in the 1 hour that we had,
Okay.
And here you do 1.5 hour classes, which is amazing, because I always felt like 1 hour was really never enough, and so that's a blessing, because it gives me a lot more time. I try to get to the gym warmed up already, so that I could just walk straight in and get to my weights and do what I got to do. It helps with focus. It helps with timing, and just, I'm not sure if I answered your question, but
you look buff.
Thank you.
You look buff.
Thank you. I think when I started, I was maybe, so I'm like 5'10". When I started, I weighed maybe about 150, maybe 148. Who knows? I'm at 165 now, and it's been maybe 9 months. So I've definitely put on some muscle.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty happy with the results. I feel good. I feel different. I feel stronger. And it's been a really positive experience. So
I'm glad, Johnny. This is, let me also take it from the training, but also from what it has meant for you to be a part of the club. This year has been quite a lesson for many of us. A challenge in many different kinds of parts of all our lives, and when you like you said earlier, you signed up on February. A month later we were quarantined, and 15 days turned into, yes, the story.
Right. Couple months maybe.
Yeah, something like that. And we were pedaling, emotionally, physically, we were pedaling. I know when we got the go ahead to reopen fully, we had the conversations, and hey, what are we gonna do? What are we doing to get things going again? How do we minimize the risks? That we understand are present now, with this COVID-19 thing. And when you came back to training, one of the main things I wanted to do is I have to show this guy results fast.
Right.
I really want that. Remember, we wanted to dial in the amount of reps that you were doing. We started doing like sets of 5,
Right.
and that was okay, but then
It wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough
for my mind.
Yeah,
Right, because I'm pretty results oriented, and if I've got extra money in the bank, then I want to use it. You know, I guess it's a runner's thing.
Yeah.
So I just want to use up all of my energy. So maybe at the beginning it was a challenge to kind of have you tailor the workouts in a way that you thought I may not max out all my energy, and I see why. But then I quickly voiced that I'm a little more hardcore, and that I need to turn things up a notch. So once that happened, it was great. It was great. We saw the results right away, and I progressed pretty quickly, I think.
Yes, you did.
For me, the hardest part of working out during a pandemic was just the consistency with work and all. There were some days where I had no work, and there were some days where I had tons of work. So the consistency was the toughest part, I think. But once I got through that, and I figured out a way to schedule either in the mornings or in the evenings, scheduling was things got better. I think things got better. So
yeah, we got around. I think collectively for you, of course, you definitely know how to use the systems that we have here for reservations. We reserve classes all the time, and you're always ahead of that. And as far as collectively, all the members, we got around to classes are smaller, show up on time, leave on time, wipe everything and all of that, and we got around all of that very, very fast. And and I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it amongst each other, because we really took care of each other like that. So that's essentially one of the things that I was alluding to, as far as what it means to have you in the club, what it means for the other members. We've done an amazing job at handling this whole thing in a way where we are clearly respectful to each other and to our needs and concerns, but also we are also mindful that we're here to do something that is good for us. We support each other, we do what we need to do, and it's been a blessing. With that said, Johnny, it's been a great time. I think we finished this first episode of the podcast. So thank you for tuning in. This is going to be a bi-weekly podcast. So the first episode is going to be released on Friday, December 4th. And then the next episode is going to be released the 2 Fridays after that. Thank you for tuning in. Johnny, it's been a great pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye, everybody.